Hey fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. We hope you're watching as a Patreon patron. If you are, thank you very much. Or as a YouTube subscriber, also thank you very much. Even if you're doing those two things, or especially if you're not, would you please consider linking your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch Prime account? It's pretty easy, and all you have to do is read the instructions right below the screen. It tells you how to do it. It's a one-click kind of link through. You have to do it every month or so if you haven't done it in a while, please try to remember to do it again. It's the only way we get paid other than direct contributions. And again, I don't get paid, but the only way Shane gets paid so he can afford the gas, which is over $5 a gallon in California, to come out and see me. So again, please try to remember to do that. It's super, super easy. It's very much appreciated if you can do that. I measure my success based on the number of Twitch Prime linkages. So please, let's see that spike up this month. I'd appreciate it.
This episode of Pachter Factor is brought to you by DeShazer Ryan Realty. Right now, Doug DeShazer has beautiful lots available adjacent to Koocanusa Lake in northwest Montana. Pull up your RV and access the hookups, or build your own construction. Either way, you have access to world-class fishing, hunting, boating, swimming, biking, hiking, and the internet. No matter where you're looking to buy, make Doug DeShazer your real estate consultant at 406-291-1643. That's Doug DeShazer at 406-291-1643.
Let's get on to today's question from Sifted from Jay Lynn. Why did Microsoft close down Arkane Austin and Tango Gameworks? Microsoft has plenty of money to keep them operating, and both studios have created excellent games in the past. What is the rationale for this, and do you think more closures are to come? It was really stupid of them to shut those studios down. And by stupid, I think they could have accomplished the same thing by slowly closing them down rather than announcing it and shutting them down. I think they could have done a hiring freeze and slowly transferred the talent from those studios to other studios where they thought they'd be better suited, and slowly abandon the projects those guys are working on or transfer the projects to another studio, and nobody would have really noticed. I mean, it wouldn't have been a formal announcement like Sledgehammer is closing and Treyarch is taking over. Instead, it would be Treyarch is going to operate under the, Sledgehammer is going to operate under the Treyarch label, and we're never really sure where any Call of Duty games being worked on. Ubisoft is kind of that way. They just kind of move people around and you have no idea what anybody's doing. But they could have been kind of stealth about it and not incurred the animosity that they have incurred. I agree with you. In particular, Arkane Austin, I mean, they made Dishonored. They're great. And maybe we hated Redfall. That's the first game that studio has made that we've hated. So whatever. Everybody's allowed to screw up every once in a while. I'm blown away. The answer to the question, though, is somebody from Microsoft corporate called up Phil Spencer and said, and I'm just throwing out stupid numbers, please don't call me out on these numbers. You guys generate $20 billion in revenue and $2 billion in profit. We need the profit to go up and the revenue to go up. Well, or you have revenue going down because you're giving away Call of Duty on Game Pass this fall. So we need you to make profit go up. And the knee-jerk reaction was, oh, we better cut costs. I can tell you nobody's ever saved their way to prosperity, ever. Now, it's possible to reallocate resources and make more intelligent spending decisions. And I totally get if you expanded. So I get kind of the whole, Activision having layoffs after being acquired by Microsoft, because Microsoft essentially hired a second human resource person and lawyer and accountant, for the Activision operations, and they already had all those people. So I do get that. But boy, do I not get closing productive studios. I completely agree with your question. It shows lack of concern for employees. It brands Microsoft as a bad place to go to work. I think that they hurt themselves badly. And especially, again, if they had, Take-Two hasn't even shut down Hangar 13, makers of Mafia 3, which was a piece of crap. They have those guys making Top Spin or whatever. They fired the head of the studio, but they still have the studio in existence. So I think Take-Two manages it much better than Microsoft did. And I'd love to say, Microsoft's run by guys who don't understand the games business, but that's not true. They do. I just think that they got too much pressure from corporate and they needed to push back. And in fairness, I'm sure Microsoft laid off other people that we don't even know about in other parts of the company. But poor Microsoft with $90 billion in cash and the most valuable company in the world, their stock at an all-time high. Like, there's just times when I think you push back on the CEO and say, I don't think that would be good for our long-term franchise, and we'll cut those costs, but give us 2 years to do it, not 1 week. So I think it was a mistake. The rationale is corporate. Are more closures going to come? Man, I was surprised by these. So the answer is no, I don't think so, but who knows? Why am I being so vocal and so nasty about how stupid this was? Because I hope they don't do it again. And I hope somebody from Microsoft who matters is watching this. I don't hope it because I care about the individual employees because I don't know them. I mean, I probably know 2 people. But I think it's bad for the industry to shut down studios. Again, if you have a studio that's not productive, reallocate, because it's not like one bad game means everybody who works at the company sucks. I'm sure 2/3, if not 90% of the employees there are really competent, really good employees. Why would you let them go? Push them into places where they can add more value. My favorite example of this is Avalanche Studios, who made Disney Infinity in Utah. Those guys just got shut down one day because Disney decided they were out of the Disney Infinity business. And Warner Brothers Interactive called them up and hired them that day. And I don't know how many, 7 years ago, I think, but whatever day it was. And Warner Brothers hired them, and 7 years later, Hogwarts Academy came out. And that was a great game that sold 15 million units. Same guys. So Warner Brothers took a failed studio in Disney's eyes and turned it into a massive success because they kept the team together. And I think there's huge value to teams who work together who are good. So I personally hate it when I see studios close. It doesn't bother me, like after an acquisition or something, if you got different people working on the game after you buy a franchise like Gears of War. That happened. But short of that, no, I don't get it at all. So I can't answer the question intelligently about whether more closures will happen. Knowing Microsoft, sure. And I think the big risk to Microsoft is what happens when their Game Pass experiment with Call of Duty yields revenues that are down by 200 million, which will happen. They're going to make less on Call of Duty. And if they don't make it up by adding Game Pass subscribers, then it's not a good experiment. That, as I answered in a previous show, that's going to take a couple of years before they cross over that break-even threshold. And if they don't get there quickly, are they going to panic and lay off more people? Maybe. So, the skeptics who think Game Pass is doomed and is never going to succeed might be right, because they might be assessing Microsoft's willingness to take losses to make this happen as really low. I think Microsoft's willing to make it happen. I think one of the reasons they're shutting studios down is they know they're going to take a bath in Game Pass, but they're committed and they're going to make it happen. I could be wrong, so we'll find out. Thank you for joining us on Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. Special thanks to our Patreon patrons and our YouTube subscribers. And I really do want to call out all of you who took the time and made the effort to link your Twitch Prime accounts to your Amazon Prime account. You managed to take money out of Amazon's pocket and give it to Shane. And that matters. Shane was complaining to me about the cost of gas. He had to borrow $5 so he could get enough gas to get home. Please link your Twitch Prime account. It's not that hard to your Amazon Prime account. Look at the show description below and it tells you how to do it. Again, it's a couple of clicks and you're done. Got to do it every month or so. So please, as soon as you click this off, go do it. Please, please, please. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time.